It's the final week until the playoffs here at AEL as we're kicking off week number 7 of the group stages here. My name is Max Formal. Up above me, it is the Farfetched as per usual as we are going through 3 series tonight. And at the end, we'll have a better idea of who the teams are, the top 2 in each group, that are going to be qualifying for the playoffs.
Oh yeah, and this first one's gonna be kind of interesting because there could be potentially the UOM team having their hopes dashed as they go up against UNSW Meow, which feel a bit silly saying that name, but I guess that's kind of the point.
I think that is the point of the team. They're having fun. Unfortunately for the University of New South Wales Meow, their hopes for the playoffs have fallen a little bit short, but for the Love Letters, it's pretty much a win-and-in type situation. You have to feel like RMIT Purple, unfortunately, still a game behind, as you can see on the standings right over here. So it's a must-win situation for Mesa if they want to join the Swang gang of SUT moving on to that knockout stages. It's going to be, I think, a very interesting battle in that regards. But Fetch, before we get too far into it, I do believe we have some sponsors to thank.
Oh, we absolutely do. Our wonderful sponsors, first of all, of course, being Predator. Conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming today. Predator, the gaming PC partner of the AEL. Conquer new worlds with Predator Gaming. Predator puts the power and precision in your hands. Elevate your gaming experience in every way with quality and performance thanks to Predator. And second of all, AOC. AOC is a global leader in monitor display technology. For more than 50 years, AOC has delivered an exceptional viewing experience to millions of loyal customers worldwide. Today, the company offers a wide selection of stylish monitors for home, office, and gaming. And finally, last but very much not least, Rig, what it takes to win. Rig develops headsets, delivering superior audio for competitive gamers and streamers at all levels. Join the Rig team and enhance your gaming experience.
Yeah, big thank you to all of them who, of course, without which we cannot have wonderful events like this. Look, I'm one of those people who likes to get things going and get into the match, and we can kind of explain and talk about these teams there. So the word has been given to the teams to join the pitch, and you know what? They actually listened for once. So we're going to be heading there as well, getting ready for our first game, New South Wales versus UMESA. New South Wales will be in blue. UMESA, of course, will be in orange. 4-1 record for UMESA, looking to finish on a high. The question is, will they be able to get that win? New South Wales, it consists of Kindle, Nya, as well as John Black. Meow, Nya, makes sense. Meanwhile, for UMESA, you've got Wanga, you have OY, and you have Nifoxel.
Yes, and again, we kind of highlighted a little bit before that the love letters from, the UMESA love letters are currently sitting right now at 5-1. Their rivals in this group, I guess we could call them, are the Swang Gang, who are sitting pretty with 5 wins and 0 losses. So realistically, you could actually almost see UMESA love letters, if they're able to take this game decisively, and if Swang Gang drop one of their next games, you actually might see a tie for first place here. So there's still opportunities, I believe, for our UOM side here to possibly take first place. I
think tiebreaker, though, would go against UMESA just because they did lose to that other team, and I believe tiebreaker would unfortunately work against them. That said, Nifoxel is going to go ahead and grab that first goal straight down the middle. 1-0 lead, not even 1 minute in, and the favorites are on the board.
I think clarify what I meant before, because I swear I had a point here. Swang Gang still has 2 games to play, so if they drop both of those, that's what I was thinking. That's where my brain went. I don't know why I said tie. But early start, going in pretty decisively, and it's really annoying with this little scoreboard glitch because I don't actually have the team names up there, but it's fine. I'm gonna have to rely on my memory, my brilliant cast of memory, which has never failed me before, to make sure we're keeping tabs on which team is which. And it looks like there might be another one pretty quickly for the Love Letters, as they are just keeping this ball up nice and aggressively and really putting pressure on the UNSW defense.
And for those of you who don't know what glitch we're talking about, I'll show you. It's this one. Everyone's on the University of New South Wales. No one's on UMESA. That's just how it works, apparently, right now. It is a little bit unfortunate, but, we make do. Goal's going to be scored by OY. That's going to be the second. And we've seen UMESA a lot on Stream Fetch, and every time we see them, they win. OY is very outspoken on Twitter. I think loves being on stream, loves being called out, and, well, that was a very nice goal.
Yeah. I like it when the players are willing to engage. They're being personalities and things like that. It's so important. You know, it's good when you've got the talent and got the skill to put yourself at the top of a group, win like consecutive games, be able to have, you know, even like a 5-1 win record like they managed to get here. But it's even better when you're able to do it with a bit of personality. I think that's what really gets people noticed. So, you know, I kind of appreciate that. Might be another opportunity for them as they just pull it out wide and try and set up yet another goal.
Yeah, we're going to watch OY looking for Knife Foxhole underneath. It looks so easy, that pass, and somehow they don't connect on it. Look, not every team is perfect. That pass is a little bit more accurate, but that one's a little far and away as well. At this stage of the game, though, we haven't really seen any offensive pressure come from New South Wales. As you say that, they get the clear, and that's going to be the 2-1, well, deficit still, but at least they're on the board.
Yeah, a little bit of a whoopsie maybe for the UM team there, but they'll take it.
I'm not calling that offense either. I refuse. I'm going to stand by my statement. We haven't seen any offensive pressure from New South Wales yet. That was just a clear that had no one back on defense.
Yeah, it's a defensive goal, and fortunately not an own goal. And you know what? I'm sick of the silence. I'm just going to say it, get it out there. Yeah, I'm going to say the words. I know they're cursed, but we're going with it. Oh, possibility to set something up here. Gets the shot across goal. Knife Foxhole doesn't quite put it through. A good defense by Nya, who you got to think is the de facto team captain for this team, right?
You would have to think so. Also, it's OE, not OY, I have just been told. So apologies. Okay. We've been calling your name wrong all season long. But apparently last week is when we're going to get it right. So OE, not OY. Apologies there. Kindle is going to throw it up to Wanga, who will throw it back. OE will look to play it through that corner. Doesn't quite get the dunk they were looking for. Still 2 minutes left in this game. Only a 1-goal differential despite the fact, and I stand by this, no offensive pressure from New South Wales.
Yeah, that's a little bit true. But I mean, this is the thing, right? We have a 5-1 team against a team who's like
2-2.
3-2. Sorry, what was that?
2-2.
Oh yeah, 2-2. Yeah. So it's like, this is kind of what you expect. And I mean, maybe it is the fact that that's that classic game one situation where it's like, well, you don't play too offensive in game one. You just sit back and play reserve. But I do think it's going to be more of a matter of the fact that these two teams do have a bit of that skill differential between them, and you know, trying to make that up is very, very hard. So a team like UNSW might sort of trying to figure out what sort of openings they are able to find. And I would like to see them play a bit more aggressively, of course, as it looks like this might actually be the opportunity. If they get a good pass off here. Didn't connect though, but at least that's something. That's like the ball being hit aggressively in their attacking half.
That was such a nice pass across the middle as well. Good job by the defense from UMESA to stop it. Probably the best look we've seen from New South Wales thus far. They are on the attacking half though, and they've been here for a little while, so a little bit of a turn of fortune. We'll see if they can create anything from it. Yeah, tries to play through the backboard. No one's there on the initial play. It will lead to OY following through underneath. Knife Foxhole doesn't quite get the dribble they're looking for. One defender back. It's Wanga, but they still find the touch. Knife Foxhole doesn't find the shot. Leave it for OE instead. 3-1 lead, and that puts game one out of reach.
That's it. I mean, hey, this isn't the last game we're going to see of this team, so we'll get to pronounce OE correctly all throughout what I'm sure is going to be an epic playoffs run. But you have to get through the series first, right? They're not guaranteed that spot just yet. They can fall behind a few of those other teams, I believe. Especially as there are a couple of games still to go here, and an immediate kickoff goal. How do you like that for offense?
That's not offensive pressure, Fetch. That's a kickoff goal.
No, it is. Look at this.
No, yes, it's a goal.
Got the ball ahead, bounced it off the defender at that point. Perfect offensive pressure.
Oh, come. It's a good goal. And it's twice that we've seen, you know, situations perhaps where there hasn't been a defender where there needs to be. Look, I saw more offensive pressure in the exchange from New South Wales where they actually had the goal wind up scoring against them. That's just the reality of the situation right now. That said, New South Wales, they're still hunting now, and this was looking perhaps like it could have been offensive pressure until we saw the whip in the middle of the field and then the follow-up underneath from Wanga to try and set up the other side. No real sense of urgency on defense from the team in blue. New South Wales, they're struggling to get any momentum. Fake leads to delicate touch. John Black going to try and make something happen. 10 seconds left. Will they find that equalizer?
Yeah, this is like the classic kind of issue you see with less experienced sports teams where the ball was there and neither player was hungry for it. Both of them just sort of let it be, and it meant that they weren't able to pull it up the field, which is tragic as well, because that could have very easily been an equalizer for UNSW. They could have taken this game to overtime, but as it is, they just almost end up getting scored on UMESA. Take that first game. But I mean, yeah, like, perfect demonstration of the exact points you were trying to make all game.
All right, make sense of this scoreboard. Look, Yeah, quick maths. 5 shots taken as an entirety from New South Wales. In response, 11 shots taken by UMESA. And I really felt like most of those 5 shots came in the final 2 minutes from the New South Wales side as well. I liked how they were able to get a bit more going later on in that series. However, it never really felt like to me that UMESA was realistically out of control, except for those 2 booming clears. So, as we've seen from UMESA in the past, perhaps sometimes they get a little overconfident, sometimes they get a little overeager. That could hurt them overall. Hopefully, this team will show a bit more restraint and they can have a cleaner game number 2.
Yeah, you know what they say, a good defense is a good defense, is the best defense. Whatever, that worked.
No, I like a good defense is a good defense. I think they do say that as well.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You have to take those pressure opportunities. It's not like they weren't being given those opportunities. It wasn't like there weren't situations where it was like, hey, you guys could play the ball here, but it just didn't sort of work out. But I mean, oh, okay, interesting little allied tap, bit of friendly fire, I guess.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It was just a particularly crucial moment that the ball does go a little bit high. Always just gonna bounce that one off the corner. And at that time, maybe it was UMESA, the love letters, not quite find the connection they might have liked on that attack.
Not quite finding it yet, but still on the hunt right now. Knife Foxhole actually is going to get that reset, passing it to Owi, and that's going to be the first goal of game number 2. Probably the best goal of the evening yet.
To be fair, that was a very nice goal. The little reset pass, like Owi was right there. Owi wasn't like set up for the Owi was set up specifically to trust their teammate to set up the flip reset pass. That was really cool. I like that. And, you know, it's sort of the weird thing about this game is the fact that it didn't feel necessarily like you were going for everything as Foxhole just pushes that one in from the center of the field. Yeah, it didn't necessarily feel like they were giving us their all on attack in that last game. You know, they kind of took a bit of an advantage and then were like, look, let's just hold on to this. Let's just make sure we keep the attacking pressure up. So seeing things like that definitely lets you know why this team has been able, or how this team has been able to push to the top of this group.
Exactly, and that's where they've been sitting. You know, they've kind of been that number 2 team since the word go, just because of that round 1 loss, which happens to be against, you know, the undefeated team still in the group as well. They knew what they had to do to make playoffs, and credit to UMESA for putting themselves in position, not letting that early loss in the season hold them back. And I'm going to be very interested to see how this team makes that run through the playoffs, assuming that they get the win here today, which 3 goals in the first minute, 3 seconds. Yeah, it's looking like they're going to be able to. Only because I don't know how they realistically kind of square up against some of like the tournament favorites of seasons past that are still competing now. Like, is this a top 8 team? I still don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky, and I think that's what makes these sort of finals very interesting. And like, it's sort of, I don't know, it's never easy to compare between groups because sometimes you get a team who just plays against an opponent who's just absolutely ridiculous. It's just hard to see them use any sort of attacking play. But I mean, with the skills they've displayed, they're clearly up there. Like, you clearly don't want to write them off immediately. And I guess that's kind of your point, is Wenger just finds another one off. Admittedly, a bit more of a little bit less of a quick, decisive play, but still one with a lot of skill put behind it and still a very good play. But yeah, like I completely with you on that one. They clearly have some of the skills in the passes. There are some things lapsing in this game in particular, but like, would that happen against a better team? It's so hard to know.
Well, that's just it, right? Because like, we see their weaknesses for this UMESA team has consistently been sometimes they get over aggressive and the counterattack has left them exposed. Those 2 goals that we got from New South Wales, that's not the first time we've seen that happen against UMESA. However, we've never really seen UMESA be challenged either, and those are the types of mistakes that you make and against an opponent that you feel like you are playing better than. And, well, every time we've seen them on stream, guess what? They've won. Like, they've been the better team on stream. So I am curious to see what happens when they go up against a team that's more equal to their skill level, and we haven't seen that yet, so it's really hard to kind of put a judgment on where this team is going to sit. I'm not saying these players are bad, and I'm not saying these players, you know, stand no chance whatsoever. In fact, they're mechanically, they are super, super strong. It's just still that unknown factor of what happens when they go up against, you know, your Uni Melbournes or, you know, your Uni SAs.
Yeah, and it's an underrated part of esports and competing in general is they sort of find their own clearance goal coming out from their own defensive half. But yeah, it's like an underrated part of competitive games is being able to reserve, like, only do as much as you need to win. Like, that sounds like a silly thing. You always want to go out and try 100%. Like, that's the saying. But, like, you don't want to throw everything you have at a series, get exhausted, burn yourself out, whatever, and then come into a fairly competitive series and just not have anything left in the tank. And that's like, you know, it's not so bad in these weekly tournaments, but I do agree with you. And it's almost worth just like sending a DM to Swangang and being like, guys, what's the lowdown on this team? You got to give you guys you beat them before, but like what's the deal? Because that was, as you said, the only time when they were tested. It happened off stream, if I remember correctly. So
it did. Yeah, we didn't catch that one, unfortunately. I would have loved to see that matchup, though. But you know what? We might get that matchup in the playoffs. As 5-0 lead, 2 minutes still remaining in game number 2. It's looking pretty decisive. OE's going to make it 6-0 now. As UMESA, I think UMESA, they were a little bit upset after the first game that you know, it was a 1-goal game, so now they're just running up that scoreline. All well and good. I mean, you kind of have to for tiebreak situations, assuming we find one, which I don't believe we will. 2 minutes left in game number 2. It's time to start victory lapping. Looking ahead towards game number 3. Unfortunately for New South Wales, I don't really see a world where they come back into this one unless we get a lot more mistakes like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you were talking about in terms of there's just that little bit of doubt about this team. They still convert into a goal pretty quickly, but no, you're right. Like, University of New South Wales would have to basically get a whole different team on the keyboard, and that's illegal, and if they did that, we're very disappointed in them. But it just doesn't look like this team right at the moment. They have the ability to coordinate. It looks like they're getting outpaced, they're getting out-touched. They're just getting, like, nothing is really going right for them except for occasional whips from their opponents, and that's not enough to come back from an 0-7 lead at, like, 1 minute 40 seconds left.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. 100 seconds left in this game. It's looking pretty one-sided this time around. UMESA. I hope there's a lot of UMESA people watching along this time around, because this is going to be another one of those wins that just make you feel super good about your team when it's said and done. Unless the reverse sweep happens, in which case you're going to feel really, really silly. So we'll see what happens from this point. University of New South Wales, though, if they're going to make anything going, it's going to come from those deeper clears. John Black has the chance down the middle this time, though. Wenga and Owi are each back waiting for the ball. So it looks as if with the 7-0 lead, UMESA, they're set to just kind of lock it down.
Yeah, exactly. No huge surprises with that one. Now trying to get a bit of a touch defensively, but it really isn't like... It really isn't enough to get these big clearance off. They had a couple of them, you know? It's not like they didn't have some good clears, but you're going to need a heck of a lot more than that to try and pull this game back. And it doesn't really seem like UMESA are actually going to try and do too much in terms of like risky, threatening plays. They're going to try and hold onto the ball, try and go for some fancy shots if they can, but it's not like they're going to go for big triple commits or anything like that, just at the moment.
As we do see 30 seconds only remaining in this one. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything crazy in this game. Game number 3, right around the corner. But as a brief reminder, too, there are 3 matches that are going to be played today as well. This is only the first one. Following this, we will have UOW, We Suck at Rocket League, taking on QUT, Bing Chilling. And then QUT again. This time the Benchwarmers are going to be taking on the University of New South Wales Roar. That's all kind of on the equation moving forward from here. So as time does tick down, 0 seconds on the clock, UMESA, they advance. Well, at least to match point.
Yeah, they advanced to match point, which is still a pretty big deal. You know, it's like that almost, I think, guaranteed. Yeah, it was that guaranteed second place if they just win this next game. At least second place, you know. I think it'd be kind of weird for the Swan Gang to drop 2 more games from here, but, like, you know, anything's possible. Right at the moment, yeah, if UMESA win this, they're almost certainly they're guaranteed to move on to the next round, move on to the finals. It's just a matter of, you know, waiting for Swan Gang to see if the miracle does happen for them and they are able to move through in that first seed position to get those easier matches. The finals is going to be very interesting. I'm just saying. Yeah. I think the fact that there is like so many groups is going to make for quite an interesting little bracket, and it kind of means, I think, coming in as a second seed may not be the death sentence it has been in previous years. Because when it's been like 4 groups, you're going to come up, if you're second seed, you're coming up against some of the best, like some genuine contenders for some of the like better players in OCE. And that's terrifying. Whereas I think here, there's like a few more teams, you know, it might be like, well, yeah, these guys are top seed, but they had an easier group. There's a bit more of a chance of that. And it's not quite that same death sentence I said before. But hey, you know, we'll have to see. They have to play their hearts out here and hopefully work really hard to try and make sure they are able to compete against those top seed teams.
I'm with you on that, because I think we're past the stage where there'd be like a team consisting of Caveman, Ben, Riv, and Tulandina that just completely wipes the floor with everyone because they're that far ahead. Like, that season in particular, I mean, that was still probably my favorite season just because the Griffith team was a meme, but like that Caveman Ben team was by far and away, like, arguably one of the best AEL teams we've seen. And we don't have that anymore. Like, this season, it's been a lot more evenly matched, a lot more close overall. Case in point, New South Wales already got 1 goal. Everyone's just kind of driving around the ball. No one wants to hit it. New South Wales got a kickoff goal, and they nearly just got a second.
Look, it's very cold, all right? They went from the lovely warm waters of, Mediterranean Greece to just really cold winter in what looks like North America somewhere. So, like, they're going to need a second. That's a quick change, all right? They're going to have to, like, refit out their cars, make sure they've got the warm clothes on. I don't blame them for this. That's a bit of a slip-up. I can understand this.
Yeah, we'll see, though, if they're going to be able to bring it back. Though John Black, another deep clear, this time Foxhole. He's going to be able to make the read along the goal line. Yeah. Now going to try and make something happen. You know what? Speaking of things being winter and starting to cool down, because it is starting to turn winter in Australia, I think I may have picked the wrong time to start, like, getting back into outdoor activities again.
No, cold is good. Again, cold isn't good for you, but, like, you gotta embrace it. You gotta push through it.
Well, actually, wait, it doesn't really get cold in Queensland. But still.
Oh, I'm stuck in Canberra, where it's like,
yeah.
I'm regretting the fact that I don't have, like, a big fluffy casting winter coat at the moment. I've got my little jacket, but it is not warm enough.
Yeah, I'm still wearing, like, the lightest clothing I actually possibly can. So, I shouldn't be complaining about the cold just yet. It's just so funny seeing a snow map in an Australia game right now. And it's actually kind of impressive that we haven't seen this game blow out of proportions just yet. Again, with UMESA, we were talking about, Season 6 before with Griffith. They like to play with their foot. UMESA kind of, I feel like, are doing the same right now. They haven't really made any play up the pitch despite, having the capabilities to do so. And as soon as I call it out, Foxhole will put it in the net.
Yeah, and there is, that's not necessarily intentional. There are times where, like, you're winning a game, and so you start just kind of messing around, and you can't get out of that mentality. And you can't, like, even really good teams drop games to that, and it's very funny. It's one of my favorite things. But yeah, I expect them to close this game out still, even if they're having a bit of fun or struggling a little bit to sort of lock in the mental.
Never forget Griffith losing when they were 3-2. Never forget that. I think that was a solo cast I was doing that one. And I hated every waking moment of it. 3 minutes left in this game.
There was a time where if you were 3v2, you couldn't win. There was like a whole season of like 3v2s where the 2s just won every game.
But this was Griffith. They
wound
up runner-up that year.
I know. It was look, the whole thing is very ridiculous.
Hey.
There we are. UMESA's in the lead now.
Granted, that Griffith team pretty much always played 3v2 with 2 on their side because Paradise would just play on the opposing's backboard and never leave. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
That was a fun team. Big Potato now currently finding success as well in RLCS, so little nod to him as well. 2-1 scoreline at the moment. Halfway through this one, shot from OE, going to make it 3-1.
Yeah, and here it is. This is more what we were expecting. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this in particular. It's just sort of like the side from UNSW not quite knowing how far up they can push, not quite knowing where they can find their ground, things like that. They're getting out mechanicked and things like that by UMESA. The Love Letters just kind of able to play right around them, and that's kind of the state of the game, really. Like, normally it'd be like, okay, but what do they do to come back into this game? But I just don't think UNSW are quite at that level yet. Which, like, no, I wouldn't say there's too much shame in that because I think that this is a very, very good team they're up against. Well, a pretty good team by the standards of the sort of tournaments we're talking about here. But they still doesn't seem like there's too much they can do. And I think we've got 2 minutes 20 seconds left, probably, of UMESA dominating this game.
Yep, I mean, I'm comfy. We're all relaxing. Minds are kind of drifting around the pitch right now, just looking at, what it's like to have a snowy evening. If only we could have this here.
Yeah, I heard that people at home are watching with like a nice hot chocolate or a cup of tea or something. Because that'd really complete the atmosphere.
I hope they scald their mouth. I mean, hey, look, we're having fun. 2 minutes remaining. I'm the nice guy. John Black's going to try to throw it back. I don't know where my mind is right now. Minute 50 remaining. Foxhole tries to find the shot. Doesn't quite get it. Too many defenders in the way. As we do move right along. Look, the end of the day, UMESA, they should win this game unless a catastrophe happens. That was a good shot from John Black. Had power, had accuracy. Also had 3 defenders in the way, though, so there was no chance that was getting in.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you're trying to find shots. And again, like, it kind of feels weird to say this as we're getting to the end of the season, whereas we're almost at the very end of the season, so just puts another one in. But, like, there is still learning to be taken from this. Yes. I don't know where all these players are at with regards to, like, their, university degrees and things and where they're eligible to play in the next season. But at the bare minimum, you're going to learn stuff from this. And it sucks when you look at the scoreboard, it's 5-1, and you're just looking at your watch like, oh, come on, guys, let's get out of here, But like, there are still things where you playing against a team like this, it at least gives you a sense of like, okay, well, how do we find shots against a team who's got a much more solid defense than we do? How do we, what do we do when we're trying to answer someone who's just mechanically better than us? How do we meet our aggression? There are still things to take away from it. And, it feels better to lose a game like this at the beginning of the season because then those adaptations have immediate benefit. But at least you can take this into your other Rocket League games, at bare minimum, your ranked games, and try and get a little bit more elo using the experience you've kind of won on this pitch.
Also, like, the fact that we're even seeing them play right now when you're mathematically eliminated, just like, I appreciate that, and not, dropping out of the tournament or bowing out when you are no longer able to advance. So in a lot of ways, I do tip my hat to University of New South Wales Meow, also having one of the better names. And there's a nice goal right there. Hassan Jam gets a little dunky dunk at the end of it all. That's going to feel good as we watch it one more time.
Yeah, that is actually quite nice. And it comes off the backboard. The setup was... Yeah, it wasn't a dunk, but it was still like, a play off the backboard. There was still kind of like, you could see how that play was developed and structured, and that's worth something.
It is.
And
it's worth 1 point.
About, like, yeah, exactly. It's worth 1 point, but it's worth a bit more of like a, yeah, we kind of know what we're doing. Hopefully that makes them feel a little bit better, even if, like, as you say, they're already mathematically eliminated, and that doesn't feel great, but playing for the love of the game is another very, very valuable thing we love to see. Absolutely.
25 seconds remaining, though, in this one, and the love of game number 1, series number 1, I should say, will be coming to its conclusion. It will be UMESA getting a win, finishing their season with a very nice record, securing a spot into the playoffs with this victory right here. So this is not the last we've seen of UMESA. They're going to be going to the best of 7s. They're going to be getting to the nitty-gritty of it all, and they do so with one more 3-0 sweep.
Absolutely huge congratulations to them. Of course, again, we didn't see them maybe taken to their full limits in that series, but they did show us some of our lovely passing plays from their big mechanical movements, and it will be very exciting to see them in that top. I want to say top cut because that's just where my brain's been recently with all these tournaments going on. But yeah, that sort of top cut situation, I think it's going to be really, really exciting to see them, and hopefully they have a lot more to show us as well. I think they will have to show us some more, though, if they're going to be making that deep run. That's just my kind of casual prediction on that one. At the end of the day, though, it is a much-needed win for that side, but it's also only the first match that we have here on stream. We're going to be going to a break. When we come back, it's going to be UOW taking on the first of 2 QUT teams, being chilling. That's a fun one. And that's going to be our second match, so do stay with us. We'll have more Rocket League when we return.
Let's go. We're going. We're going. It's a hot drop, everybody. Yeah, we get to do these every now and then, and they're always intentional, right, Fetch?
Oh, yeah, we were like, hey, guys, let's just go immediately. We want to make this stream extra hot. We're so ready. And the players were like, all right, guys, we'll just go without you even saying it. We're ready.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's great. We love it. All right, do you want to give an intro as to who these two teams are?
You know what? If they wanted to be introed properly, they wouldn't have jumped in lobby. No, I will quickly do that. UOW are in blue. That is King Judas. That is Nutmeg 9, whose name we always struggle with. But now they got the Scarabs, so we're going to remember them a little bit more, as well as the Bandits run. UOW, we suck at Rocket League. We always joke, you're not as bad as you think. However, their record, they're 0-5, so maybe there's some truth to that. On the other side, it is QUT, Bing chilling with BTH, MMIV, Cal Saren, and Lodzi, who I believe one time tried to jump me after I made fun of him at a QUT cast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. That was nowhere I was expecting that to go at all.
It was playful bants. We were fine. It was fine.
I figured. Yeah, okay. Not only is it the Scarab, not only is it a little buggy, but it's a Scarab with sunglasses on.
True.
And considering how overcast it is in the stadium, that makes them very cool.
It's almost as good as rocking them indoors.
Yes, I think that's true.
All right.
I think that's very true as well.
We also got the Merc from King Judas as well, with the fox ears that I always thought were devil horns until recently. We also have the pass from Bandits run, nearly finding that first goal. Look, here's the thing about UOW, we suck at Rocket League. This team always seems to keep it close despite never being able to find the win. It's been one of the most tragic teams I think we've covered so far throughout this season. I still feel like QUT wins this. They're kind of on my side to take this one as well. Like, if you look at the standings at the moment, neither of these teams realistically are in contention, I would feel like, to make it to the playoffs. Why? Well, we just saw UMESA Love Letters get through in this same group. Like, yes, we're still in Group B, so the Swang Gang's still out top. But they still would like to finish strong with the win.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, you know, like, you really do for UOW, considering how close the games have gotten. That just makes you want to win one even more. Like, at this point, it's a matter of pride. You're like, whatever, we're eliminated. I don't care. We need to put some wins on. We need to actually capitalize on these. Otherwise, it's just gonna feel extra bad. And at the moment, it's gonna be Kalsarin finding the opening goal. This game had been so back and forth. I just assumed we'd already had a goal. I don't know why. Where are my brain's at?
Yeah, I don't know. My brain's been missing all night long. But it's 1-0 in favor of QUT, so good on them. If they get a couple more, I might have to put on my special little QUT pin to say hooray.
Aww.
Yeah, it's wholesome, isn't it? What's not wholesome, though, is this defense, because they are plugging those holes as they get that clear. Bandits run down the middle. Will eventually run into Lodzi. King Judas tries to play through the corner. And I'm just going to keep speaking because I don't want you to acknowledge what was said.
I was taken aback by it. It took me way too long, but yeah, all right. But you're right. This defense, flawless, perfect. No need for metaphors here. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of still been a defense, though. It hasn't really turned into any kind of attack, and that's the problem. There's a great pass, and it goes in immediately. Kalsarin picking up another one for the QUT side. And I mean, it was actually, to be fair, first half of the game basically scoreless, so that's something, I suppose, but I mean, realistically, it's scoreless doesn't win games. You eventually need to be able to sort of structure some sort of attack. Just not letting goals in doesn't do anything for you, because eventually your opponent's going to score. But I mean, you know, maybe an opportunity here. They've got 2 players in the halfway mark. That's not ideal. You're not really holding the space you might have liked, but I guess at least they're sort of looking for those plays and looking for those first touches on the ball.
Yeah, as we do see a bit of a breakaway. Save made by BTH. Second save made by Lodzi. And this is what I mean about we suck at Rocket League as the third striker misses the ball completely. They do everything right, Fetch. They get so close time again. And then they start missing the ball, and we just go, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a Bombers fan. I know exactly what that's like. Oh, boy.
I mean,
it's rough.
As a Packers fan, I only experience it in the playoffs. Still, a minute 23 remaining, and we're going to see what Kalsarin's going to do right here. Lodzi gets a quarter. I mean, it's like instead of it being individual games, it's like the entire season, right, where you look so good, so close,
True.
but you know in the end you're just going to fall short every time.
That's a little bit rough. Also, before we get back into the actual game, I'm just going to say it. This car, this little, like, that's a, yeah, this little golden yellow, I love it.
Oh.
I don't know how to pronounce their name. It's a lot of consonants.
Kalsarin's?
BTH MMIV.
Okay, we're going to
Really
bring it up
nice
on
car.
screen. We're going to bring, yep, there it is. Oh, isn't that the, it's one of the esports teams.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it is. So it's on the tip of my tongue, but like, yeah, I can't remember exactly which one it is, but that is a nice looking car.
It's one of the NA teams, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's why we don't know it. So
pretty much, yeah. Also, speaking of RLCS news, Moist Esports, now a thing as Lodzi's going to make it 3-0. Any thoughts on Moist Esports?
I only know them from Smash, where they're like, they were having a pretty good time. Apparently, the esports org has a lot of personality behind them, which I mean makes sense given the.
It's Moist Criticals.
Yeah, exactly, given the Moist Critical. But a lot of the they've seemed to stick pretty well to players who are like really engaging. And from what I've seen, the org itself is actually surprisingly like wholesome and has a lot of really good stuff going on in them.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, having to say the name, that's the thing I think I saw you sharing on Twitter, and that'll be interesting, honestly. I think I'd rather say Moist Esports than Meow.
True.
I think Meow is just, I don't know how to make that sound intense.
I mean, Moist Esports is also going to be tough to take seriously, but I'm all for it. And it's good to see Team Queso, like the roster that Moist Esports picked up, because it wasn't like they picked up some bubble team. They picked up the best team in Europe right now. Arguably the best team in the world. Like, you can say unironically, I think Moist Esports is the best Rocket League team in the world.
Yeah, but at least you can, like, add drama to it. Like, Moist Esports. You know, like, you can play into it, but I get what you're saying. That said, that would be pretty exciting if you just get Moist Esports being the best team in the world. I think that's a good bit.
I genuinely believe at their best they probably are the best team right now in the world.
I think it's the G2 effect, right? Where it's like you absolutely are the biggest meme team who no one can take seriously, but then no one can stop you in like any esport. I mean, okay, admittedly their R6 team has fallen off a little bit, but like outside of that, like they are pretty dominant. I don't know. Have they?
It also should be worth noting too, like it's not as if picking up Team Queso is necessarily off-brand for them either, because like that's literally Team Cheese. They were Team Cheese before, like.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They just pick up players who just have personality. It's like I don't know I haven't followed the sort of international scenes as much for Rocket League, but like that's kind of the reputation. That's what I know Moist Esports for.
Yeah, I think it'll
and
be
the silly headbands as well.
Oh, I hope they bring those out next land. But yeah, that's some exciting news. So shout out to Moist Esports. Excited to see what they can bring. That's kind of one of the bigger announcements. Game 1. Pretty dominant by the QUT side. There wasn't too much to comment on. It was pretty straightforward. The better team won outside a couple of late flurry of attacks from UOW, who would love to get one back right now. I still want to see that Scarab fly, and I still prefer that Scarab to the Battle Bus.
I agree. I have a soft spot for the Merc. But
no!
Almost as cool as that goal could have been.
That was almost a pop moment. Yeah, the Battle Bus sucks. I actually tried playing Fortnite the other day. Because they got rid of the build mode?
Yeah, everyone's been saying that. I've been talking with Apex players, and they're like, I might give Fortnite a try.
And they'll go right back to Apex. Godzi's going to get that first goal. It's 1-0. I mean, it just wasn't satisfying. I don't know what else to tell you, unlike this goal, which would have been very satisfying.
I think the worst part about taking out building in Fortnite is you can't get an encounter with someone, watch them spend all of their resources building the most epic fort ever to try and fight you, and then just walking away. And then being like, what? You can't do that? I'm going to miss that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I like that approach. I think that is a strong approach. Oh, King Judas, deep clear. Calcerin will try to make the read from the back corner. Going to try to slowly dribble this one forward. Has King Judas underneath, who went for the boost and missed it. Got it on the second attempt, though.
That's all right. It was just repositioning, really, to realize that their first take at it wasn't quite positioning properly. But they were able to find a bit of a breakaway here. He isn't able to get past the defender too much just yet. But, they have a possibility to pass it back or not. They're just going to concede this point right at the moment. Nah, it's fine. The Buggy has the guts to go for the play.
Yeah, as we do see pressure being established, King Judith will be read by Calcerin, who will try to clear it back over that middle of the field. And Calcerin trying to stay with that play. Eventually, everyone does get bumped off it. Shot from BTH. Not quite on target either. A lot of missed targets, but it's still all in setup for this shot. Calcerin makes it 2-0.
Guys are a little sad they didn't get that last shot, so finding one straight over the top of the defenders has got to be a little bit satisfying. It wasn't quite as pretty, but still a little 1-2 pass play over the defenders. You can't feel too bad about that one.
Yeah, no, it was a really nice goal. Not much more to say. It was a tough one to defend. Backboard defense was in position for it. Just mechanically, they couldn't quite execute on that instance. And now 2-0 lead, looking to be 2-0 series lead perhaps at the end of this game. QUT, I mean, they are really being chilling, kind of living up to that name at the moment, just chilling out. I still question the origins of that meme. I'm still not entirely sure where it came from. I always associated it with John Cena. Either way, deep clear now, and this could be an opening for UOW.
Yeah, I mean, all right, that one took me a little bit off guard, but perhaps. Look, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the more awkward names. I'm sticking with the uni names for this one. It's a little bit easier for my brain, my small little caster brain. But it has pretty steadily been exactly what we expected. It's been QUT just kind of holding on, just playing calm. It's just kind of doing everything they need to for this play, trying to look for some big goals. Of course, if you're gonna win, you're gonna do it fancily. They're able to keep their opponents largely on the back foot. UOW not able to find too much in terms of these attacking plays. They get a couple every now and again, but it's not like decisive, you know?
No, it's very, very kind of as it comes, as it goes. UOW really trying to just take what's given to them, and the end result sometimes if you play too passively is shots like that get through. That's going to be the 3-0 lead. Still 100 seconds remaining. This, though, typically will be enough to secure a win, I think, in this kind of matchup, considering we haven't really seen UOW get any offense yet.
I didn't even know there was a WrestleMania tag. There you go. You talked about John Cena. You summoned it yourself.
Yep.
How do we actually pronounce BTH MMIV's name?
BTH is kind of what I've been saying.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, all right.
I'm still just trying to remember what the car is on BTH as well, as I'm just like kind of zooming in. Who were you? What team were you again? I don't remember, and it's driving me crazy. 100 seconds less, 80 seconds left. Either way, 3-0 lead, QUT getting closer to the win.
My brain's saying Pittsburgh Lions, but I'm pretty sure that's just because it's yellow.
It's Pittsburgh Knights.
Yeah, I know it's the Pittsburgh Knights, the football team. But my brain's like, maybe they were like paying homage. So it's the Lions.
The football team is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, it is. Oh, maybe it is the Pittsburgh Knights then.
Yeah.
Is that the esports team? Am I getting confused because I was correct?
You might
It's so rare that my brain was like, you can't be correct. You're wrong.
I'm trying to dig deep, all right? I'm trying to do the research. Right. I'm going in. We're punching in the calculations.
If it's the Pittsburgh Knights and I doubted myself because I'm a nerd this entire time, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to just quit this. I'm quitting this cast right.
I don't think it is the Pittsburgh Knights. Is it like the old? No, it's not the old Kansas City Pioneers thing. It is. I think it might be the Pittsburgh Knights. I actually think you're right.
Mad.
I'm
so mad. Yeah, it's the Lion. Yeah, it is. Why did I say this in the first place? I could have seemed smart, formal. I could have seemed like a genius. I could have seemed like the smartest caster in the world.
No, you know what? I'm not going to hold you get this one against you, because what team calls themselves the Knights and then has a lion?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's back this up a little bit. It's not you that's wrong. It's the kids. Okay. QUT take game number 2.
Yeah, even the Newcastle teams aren't. The Newcastle rugby team isn't that bad. Like, come on, and they're not exactly great.
Oh, I was not checking my Discord. I have messages, probably about my inability to recognize the Pittsburgh Knights. It is. Oh, it was. Oh no, called out. That's okay. Let's go to game 3.
Okay, it's fine.
Also, shout out to Ollie for watching along.
Maybe if they won more stuff, we'd recognize them better.
Hey. Yeah, I know. I had to dig for them. They've had a bit of a roughie. What is going on? Why are we joining and rejoining? We're good to go, Calcerin. There we go.
I don't know, but we're good now. Calcerin wanted to make this dramatic. Was like, enough talking about the Knights. Guys, come on. We got a game to start.
Well,
a third game to start even.
Yeah, instead let's talk about Bing chilling, I suppose. That sounds so much better. Calcerin's going to try to find the double, does, but can't quite get it in the net. As we do see the shot come from BTH, but that also will miss out.
Yeah. Not quite going to go on target right at the moment. It's still pretty much the same deal. It's a lot of orange players on the attacking half, putting the ball pretty close to the goal. Not quite going in for most of these attempts. I think that's the thing. Like, their actual accuracy in this game is probably quite low because they just keep playing it like off the backboard and things like that. So, you know, it's probably a bit unfortunate. But there we are. BTH does find the goal eventually. I mean, to be fair, only 36 seconds in, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's about on par for what we've been seeing from the QUT side. Unfortunate. It's just been that lack of urgency, I feel like, that we've been seeing on the defense, unfortunately, from UOW. Since the start, game 1, they had some offensive pressure, but we haven't really seen that as much since. And unfortunately, it's just been a lot of QUT just kind of poking at the backboard, poking at the defense until they eventually get a shot through.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, that's kind of why I guess I was saying it's like a relatively. It seems like they've got a really relatively low percentage because they're kind of just like, hey, you gonna make a mistake yet? Hey guys, I'm gonna put the ball in front of the goal. You gonna make a mistake? No, all right, I'll try again. And that, you know, it's pretty much it's winning in the game, and it's probably gonna guarantee it because if you do hold the ball in the attack, eventually you're gonna get through. But yeah, it doesn't probably look too great on the stats.
No, it doesn't look great on the stats at all, as we do see BTH trying to throw it forward to Lodzi, but Lodzi didn't really stay for it. Instead, it was a rotate back. Calcerin wanting to play the backboard again. This time, Bandits Run actually will try to make the play underneath. Gets the boost, wants to stay with it. Does enough to stop the first clear. Big bump from King Judas. I'm not sure what the purpose of that was, but it looked cool.
That's important. Style is so important in Rocket League. You should know that by now.
I absolutely
I think Calcerin was going for a double reset there for the exact same reason. Like, not to get the ball anywhere, but just because it was cool.
Yeah,
which,
no,
you know.
and I agree. Style is cool, which is why we're not going to be having the camera on Lodzi anymore this game.
Wow. I was going to say, you shouldn't have given Lodzi the idea. You shouldn't have talked about Griffith earlier in the stream, because Lodzi is like, wait, backboard, you say? Just AFK backboard plays? Oh, I'm into that.
Well, it's not just that. I just also hate that car design. It makes me a little nauseous.
No, that's okay. I was just calling them out for, you know, thinking they're in a Spoodyverse film.
True.
But, you know, it's fine.
Well, we're going to see a shot and a goal. That's Bandits Run. Finally getting one on the board for We Suck at Rocket League.
Yeah, there they are. They actually found one. That's pretty good. Wait a minute. Did I just mess up really badly? I think I might have messed up really badly.
Oh.
It's fine. For some reason, my brain was just like, Newcastle starts with a W, doesn't it? And I was really worried that UOW was University of Newcastle. And I was like, can I just insult the Newcastle Knights in front of a Newcastle team?
Oh, no, you're fine.
I wasn't making it out of the stream alive if that happened. Let's be honest.
I mean, I would do it. Okay.
Yeah, but you got more guts than I do, and you got more standing in the scene. That's why.
I also don't care what people from Newcastle think of me.
Wow, I see how it is.
We still got 2 minutes 15 remaining, though, in this game. And it's actually getting a bit more interesting. More tie ball game. Still 2 minutes left. Lodzi's going to try to play setup. King Judas kept it underneath. Here comes Calcerin passing it across. Never mind. That's a shot, and that's going to be a goal. I thought they were looking for Lodzi. Instead, they were just taking it themselves.
Yeah, that's it. Lodzi doesn't deserve balls. If you're AFK on the backboard, even for a little bit, you don't deserve goals. But yeah, you're right. This game has stepped up a little bit in terms of interest. Of course, that was the shot to break the equalizer, giving QUT back the lead right at the moment. But I like the fact that we're seeing a bit more aggression from UOW right at the moment. That ball does bounce off the backboard just a little bit more awkwardly than I think they expected. It was a good waterfall shot in retrospect, but didn't quite get the replay. A possibility here for King Judas, but just doesn't find the power.
Yeah, I like even how Lodzi recognized how badly they kind of, with that one, the whoops was coming out. Nope, can't watch Lodzi. As we do see the Bandits Run now looking for the pass over to Calcerin. Eventually, King Judas will get possession of it. Yeah, you thought I was joking if you're watching along. Nope, every time the camera's going to jump to Lodzi, I'm just manually changing it.
Yeah, exactly. Swap it to BTH. See that lovely Pittsburgh Knights color? Because I do like the Pittsburgh Knights color. I think they're pretty cool. I like the pattern. It's a nice yellow.
Well, we could do that, or we could go to Nutmeg 9 and bust out the Scarab.
Ooh, that's also good. We've got so many good choices this game. These guys delivering. If you know,
Bandits Run unironically has the best looking car.
I'd believe it. I'd believe it. I need to like wait for my camera to pan across because I don't have the energy to actually.
It's the purple octane.
But... Ooh, that's nice. That is actually quite nice.
Yeah. 1 minute remaining though, and unfortunately, as nice as the style is for UOW, might not matter if this one does fall in the net. Calcerin will keep it in the safety of the corner, but yeah, it's under a minute to find the equalizer. Here comes King Judas. Lodzi with the clear though, and they don't find the shot right away. A second waterfall, a second opportunity. Bandits Run doesn't find the angle in time. Proactive defense from Lodzi keeps the ball safe for now.
And this is an inverse of what we saw QUT doing to UOW right at the moment. They were trying to keep them, they were keeping their opponents locked into this defensive half, and the fact that it's been turned around a little bit. I mean, there's a breakaway now from Calcerin, who we know likes to do some of these trickier plays, puts it in the corner though. Probably not ideal, but does cause a 3-car pile up for it, so that was a heck of a bump, but doesn't quite come to too much more. I do love how aggressive Bandits Run's been playing on this attacking half though, trying to keep these attacks alive, kind of string them together, and getting another possession. It goes straight into the goal, finally rewarded for what was about a minute of hard work.
Yeah, Bandits Run, who got that save upside down, just kind of got bumped into it. Eventually is also going to be the one who gets the equalizing goal. 10 seconds remaining. UOW, they're not done yet. Let's see if they can make that comeback happen. 10 seconds most likely. We're going to see overtime, but regulation shenanigans are a thing. Ball off that backboard. Lodzie's there. Will wind up going corner to corner. King Judas keeps it alive. BTH can't get underneath, and we have an overtime.
Yeah, I like Lodzi, just was a bit stressed there, so returned home to that position.
No way!
Oh, Bandits Run! Of all the times to get a kickoff goal, that might have been the fastest kickoff I've ever seen.
It was a speed flip. That was the speed flip. They executed it, and they got to that ball first. Well done, UOW. GG's all around, and we got ourselves a series, Fetch.
We do got ourselves a series. And I'm glad that Bandits Run ended up getting that, because the whole team was trying really hard to keep that ball active, to keep the attack going. But I feel like the Bandits Run had some really incredible touches, so I'm really glad they got rewarded there. Ended up being the top scoring player. Oh, God. Oh, no.
Whoop. Uh-oh. No, I just accidentally joined QUT.
Oh, that fixed the ladder. That fixed the scoreboard. Well done for me. You're a genius.
It didn't fix it for me.
Oh, it did for me. Whoops.
All right, well, we're going to see if the players actually opt to play this, or if we're going to get angry messages saying, nope, we're jumping in, we're doing it.
Oh, I like the guts. These teams came here to absolutely brawl, and now it doesn't really matter if you're going to be on Lodzie's car, because the whole map's kind of gross anyway.
I just revealed what car I have to everyone, too, by accident. Ooh. They all know I have. Yeah, it was just the Renegade's car. It wasn't anything special.
Nice.
But yeah, no, this is going to be... Look, I think this field is not ugly. I just think it's very tough to play on.
I think it's kind of ugly. I think there's some cool stuff on it, but I think it's ugly. I like the fact there's a duck. I like, BTH. That was a lovely little score. I like the fact there's a rubber ducky. I like the fact that there's, like, balloon animals. That's kind of quirky, but, like, nah.
Fair enough. I mean, look, it's not my favorite, but I don't think it's ugly. So I just want to...
280s.
We're going to zoom in on that duck right now. I know there's Rocket League happening behind the screen, but this is the real show. All about that duck. We're going to watch from duck POV as we see some pressure being put on the goal right now. Yeah, this is happening. BTH trying to set up the rest of the team. Here comes Calcerin. Doesn't quite get the cross-up that they need.
I thought that clearance might have been it, but Lodzi is able to hang back, play that halfway mark. As Calcerin has the height, has the ball, passes it off to Lodzi once again. Almost the best connection and best pass, possibly of the night. Players still being active. Calcerin takes it off the crossbar.
That should have gone in.
BTH not going to commit. Yeah.
And that also...
I think so.
And
to be fair,
yep.
I think some credit goes to UOW's defense here. I think it's looked much better. Never mind.
Yeah,
probably didn't have Bruce there.
Calcerin missed an open net, and then they got the goal with two defenders in the way. I'm not going to be complimentary of any of the play on that situation. 2-0, well done,
okay,
QUT, you get your goal.
I think there were some good defensive touches there. I wasn't looking at the right angle, probably to pick up on the open. I thought there was players there, but yeah, fair enough. I think I had like the super close dramatic, super anime thing where it was like just the car and the ball, and then that's the whole screen, so that was it.
I mean, you just learned so much from anime angles.
Yeah. Dude, you learn a lot of life lessons from anime. None of them good ones.
Oh,
especially if you're on Moist Esports.
True, Moist Esports. Moist Esports loves neon fields.
They would, actually. Yeah, they'd be really into it. This is probably their home ground.
Probably. Oh, no, Lodzi. There we go. But yeah, 3:13 remaining on the clock. 2-0 lead for QUT right now. They're definitely controlled this one. Bandits Run going for the dribble. Will get dunked on by Calcerin, who didn't get the deep play they were looking for. And I always have to hold my breath a little bit. Whenever UOW is able to get on the attack, it feels like they're getting closer and closer. Bandits Run a little bit lower on that aerial, and they would have found that goal.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They are holding the pressure pretty well. Does Nutmeg just doesn't quite find that one. King Judas not able to win the contest, but they are able to buy enough time for Bandits Run to get back. A heck of a clear into the attacking half there from QUC, but they just weren't able to do maybe enough with that one to now forced back onto defense. Considering, realistically, we take a step back from this. Considering these are two teams who are middle of the pack or bottom of the pack, this is a really good game. like these guys are playing quite well. There's obviously a lot of mistakes and things, but you expect when you're playing like when you've got like the bottom of the ladder team in a game, you expect it to be like their first time playing Rocket League. That happens sometimes.
Well, I mean, we talked about UOW and how like they've just kind of been snake bitten. It feels like at times. For the QUT team, I actually feel like this has been a disappointing season for them, considering the caliber of the players on this team. I'm not sure I would have called them top 2 in this group. This group was pretty vicious. But I would have liked to see him like 3rd, 4th area as opposed to kind of like middle-y, lower middle-y. So I think it's been a little disappointing in that regards. Then again, though, they have another game after this one. They can still finish 4-2, and that's kind of what I would predict for them. So I'm not too surprised to see them playing well. As do we want to count that as the one own goal, or do we wait for a better one?
Nah, I think it's like only an own goal if like you're right? Like, you have to be the one who puts it in. It's like, whatever, you failed defensive touch, fine. Like, unless it's like a really bad defensive touch, that's just whatever. Like, they couldn't quite clear it, but they tried. I'm not going to count that.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, look, when it comes to InterVarsity Rocket League, the best own goal still was done by the UEA Blue Jays. That still is going to be the best. That one was amazing. And that's not even, like, Australia. Like, it wasn't even done in OCE. Like,
yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, it was an EU one. And that just tells me that our OCE squads have to step up their own goal game.
That's true. That's true. I mean, we are consistent. I think that's the thing. Like, there's always 2 performance indicators in competitive video games. Oh, here we go.
That's almost was it. That almost was it.
Very close. To be fair, that was like a forced own goal where Bandits Run just kicked someone into it. I think that style. But yeah, no, there's 2 main like metrics of performance in terms of competitive games. Yeah. There's consistency and there's like top end skill. And I think that OS has the consistency for the own goals. We really have that as our advantage.
We do. But I don't know. That one. I'll link you afterwards.
Please do. I think I've seen it, but like,
I think I might have sent it to you before.
Yeah.
It was the 3-man. Like, all 3 of them passed it back into the goal. It was beautiful. Oh,
that's so good.
King Judas is going to play forward, and it does look like with 37 seconds remaining, a little bit of desperation for the UOW side. They need this attack to work. They need to find the goal here. Nutmeg doesn't get the space they needed, and with under a minute to go, BTH will get that clear. I think that time on the clock means the end of this one. QUT will win the series 3-1.
Yeah, and UOW sort of full rotated back with like 20 seconds left and 2 goals to get. So I think that's probably definitely what sealed it. Nutmeg is not going to go for that one in Kalsaran. Gets admittedly what was an open goal, but still managed to get a little bit of that mechanical finesse, landing that little double touch.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. Style was there. Points on the board. Well done to the team in orange. Well done to QUT. Hopefully for this team, you know, they can bring things back around. They can finish with a nice 4-2 record if trends continue the way they are. But as the timer does tick down to 0 for UOW, we suck at Rocket League. It's the 6-0 season, and that is unfortunate for a team that really doesn't look that bad every time we see them.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, it's like if you a miss is as good as a mile, as they say, and you know, if you're just not putting wins on the board, you're not putting wins on the board. It doesn't really matter how close those games get. It's tragic for them, but you know, what are you gonna say about it outside of like, you just need to put in that little bit extra. You need to get that little bit extra, whatever it is, you know, to sort of start closing out those games. Otherwise, this is what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, we can take a look again at sort of the standings in this group before we throw it to break. Obviously, it has not been updated yet. Maybe if I click refresh, it will magically update. That's exciting. We get to watch, you know, live loading screens. No, it hasn't updated. But you can sort of see the situation being chilling. Yep, 3-2 now. Oh, maybe it did update. There you go. Oh, wait, no, they were 2. That's right. I forgot about the glitch. Either way, yep, being chilling. They'll be 4-2 at the end of tonight. Well done to them. We suck at Rocket League. 0-6, a bit unfortunate for them. But guess what, Fetch? We still do have one more beautiful match to be played here on stream. It's going to be the Benchwarmers taking on the University of New South Wales Roar. So another New South Wales team, another QUT team. We'll see how that one will play out after one more break. And we are back, everybody. Third and final game of the evening, and this one probably the most important one yet. University of New South Wales Roar going to be taking on the QUT Benchwarmers. Both teams, as you can see, 4-1 because they all got a free win, and both of them on the cusp of getting to the playoffs, but they need to win this game right here. Fetch, this is kind of what we've been waiting for. It's like the playoffs have come early.
Oh, yes, it is. We're already getting to elimination matches, and honestly, I'm so excited. I don't think there's too much more to say about these teams, really. Like, we've kind of set the stakes. It's just a matter of both two teams who are 5-1.
Yeah.
No one who can really contest them for that spot, and a team who's 6-1 who's already made it through. At this point, you just play, and if you do it, if you win this game, then you're through to the finals. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. This is the most important best of 5 these two teams have seen yet. So without further ado, we are going to be sending them in right about now. So we're going to be jumping onto the pitch as well. This is a big one. No more memeing around. This is serious time, or as serious as I can possibly get, which probably isn't that serious, but still, we're going to be going at it on that QUT side. Why is there a letter H in this? One sec. I'll just quickly go through this. On the QUT side, you have Mac Attack, Mick Macca, who's going to be a player to watch out for, and Styled XD Rocket League. Just so you know, they're not the League of Legends player. On the side of the University of New South Wales, it is Medicine Man, Oak Gulch, and Diggs.
Yep, good stuff. I am just having a quick look to see, because the one thing which is interesting here is I believe that one of these teams will be playing for first seed and the other one's playing for second seed. And that's interesting, actually, as a goal opens the scoring up there. Yeah,
that was a very quick goal, as already people are saying server issues. I'm not... Oh, yeah, it's just the scoreboard. I guarantee you it's the scoreboard that's kind of being brought up right now as Diggs looks for the shot but isn't going to find it.
Okay, interesting. I'm not entirely sure how to decipher these standings a bit. A little bit weird and a little bit confusing because I think both of these teams actually lost to the top ranking team. So I don't know exactly how we're going to see I think that means that they're both playing for second, that's fine. That's how it is. Just a bit of a weird situation to see that kind of play out. But yeah, so whoever plays this is going to be the second. Whoever wins this best of 5 series is going to go through as the second seed.
And if we're going based on familiarity, I do have to kind of lean towards QUT being my favorite in this matchup just because I've seen them play before. I've seen what Mac Attack can do, as well as Mac Macca actually is kind of the big player who I'm going to be looking out for. That said, New South Wales can be a strong team in their own right, so we'll see what they're able to bring out. I'm just not familiar with this roster. I am liking the look of this attack. They've had a couple shots ski close to target, but nothing quite in the net just yet.
Yeah, as I said, they are facing that 1-goal deficit right at the moment. So, it's going to have to be how this series progresses. This first game will tell a little bit in terms of how the momentum is going to go. But of course, as the series unfolds, we'll see different things. Medicine Man just coming in at the last second. I believe that's the team captain, sort of making sure to keep this 1-goal disadvantage from blowing out any further. As Diggs is going to go up, get aggressive, has 2 defenders to try and beat, and almost managed to threaten both of them. Style XD is able to get a bit of a breakaway, but doesn't put too much more pressure on that defender.
Medicine Man relying solo with tight spacing. Okay, I like this approach. I like a lot of what New South Wales has actually been able to do, both offensively and defensively. Yes, they let that first goal through, but in terms of rotation, in terms of playing the map, and in terms of playing around their opponents, I actually feel like New South Wales is playing the smarter game right now. They also seem to be more consistent in getting to that ball first. So yeah, it's a 1-0 lead in favor of QUT right now, but I might have to reassess which team I think is going to take this one because I've been more impressed by the team in orange tiled. Almost got that own goal right there. That would have been big.
Yeah, that would have been, we're avoiding those right at the teams. They're willing to put a bit further forward onto the attack, but aren't committing too much so as not to be able to make these rotations back. Of course, the ball is still very firmly in the court of QUT, but UNSW doing a good job on these attacking plays. They're able to keep the ball up for a little bit longer, but they aren't going for those finalizing shots. They aren't able to actually sink that ball into the goal. And, the counterattack's still coming through pretty firmly from QUT right at the moment. Mac Attack is trying to take it further. I like how Medicine Man has been kind of a bit of a stalwart for this team so far. Has been always in the play and always seems to be winning the ball. He has a big high-angle shot, but it does get cleared out wide. They continue to attack, possibly coming through from UNSW, but it just doesn't look like they have the ability to close it out.
Yeah, as we do see a minute 45 remaining. As Oak Glutch tries to go for the 50, but doesn't quite beat out Mac Attack. Still 100 seconds left. Mac stays with it, only for a little bit. Now Mac will take it over the middle. It's so open, it's so free. QUT get their second in the game.
Yeah, I don't know if that player didn't have enough boost or just didn't have the height or just messed up the jump. I think it might have been something wrong with the angle, and Mac Attack just gets a free shot. I don't think the positioning was terrible. Maybe you can sit back a little closer to that halfway mark. You're not kind of in no man's land where you can't really put offensive pressure on or defensive pressure on. But yeah, at the end of the day, Mac Attack takes full opportunity of that one. Now with 1 minute 30 seconds left remaining, it's not the easiest job for UNSW to come back into it, especially considering they haven't been able to really find these decisive shots.
No, they have not been, and as we do move along, a minute 15 remaining, Macca gonna try to play along that corridor, will eventually pull away. Medicine Man tries to find digs underneath. With a minute to go, I still feel New South Wales has looked like the stronger team. It's just been a couple mistakes that QUT have been able to punish on. So I'm surprised that we haven't seen New South Wales actually get that goal. We do see Medicine Man get a booming clear, and that one was on target to find the goal once again. Had Style not been there for the save.
Yeah, I agree, but again, its consistency is very important. If you're not able to find consistency, that's a big problem. Triple commit burned on the defense. This might be an opportunity there.
No.
Lovely knock.
No!
The shot just isn't quite there. The save is good. Diggs keeps the attack going for just a little bit longer, but Mac Attack is able to assist on that clearance. That said, you're right. UNSW is still holding this attack, and Oak does finally get that one back. 30 seconds left and only a 1-goal deficit.
Yeah, Oak is able to put one in, and oh gosh, that's steam pick. But yeah, no, it's a good strike just outside the box, straight over the top of not one but two defenders. The power was there. I worry, though, that's going to be too little too late in game number 1.
Yeah, like, it might well be, but at least they find a goal before the game's done. Getting clean swept out doesn't feel good. It's a little bit harder to pick yourself up from that, but I think both these teams have enough of a stability in the mental. It does look like when outside and see that slightly higher bump game coming through from UNSW, but all QT has to do is play keepings out for just a little bit. Normally you don't like seeing that in Rocket League, but for 10 seconds, that's totally doable.
Yeah, and I think it will be enough to get it away, especially with Style pushing the ball towards their own side, their own backboard. Oak Glutch doesn't get the shot they were looking for. QUT take game number 1.
It was a very interesting point you made about the fact that UNSW looked a lot better than QUT in a lot of that play, in a lot of that game specifically. And I think that you have some good points there. They just weren't able to find the shot advantage. Like, look at Mac Attack getting 6 shots by themselves. That's outnumbering what we kind of saw from UNSW.
I don't trust this scoreboard.
I mean, I think Mac Attack did have quite a few shots. Admittedly, some of those were like weird shots though. But whatever. Even if we ignore that, I do think that like the consistency from QUT was what got them over the line, rather than necessarily the raw skill. And I think that's something which all UNSW has to do then is just tighten up the mistakes, which may be easier said than done. But like, I don't know.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to bring it back as we're getting ready for everyone to ready up and get into our second game. Just going to tell you, can't keep going along. I'm just going to let them know that they can't keep going along. They don't need to wait for us, as every time someone's readies up, all the names do disappear, and that terrifies me.
I don't get that. Okay, that's just a your experience. All right, we've gone to the beach now. Lovely.
I get all of the crazy experiences. That's just I'm just special with that one. Nope, they already used their mulligan in my eyes for the.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a few too many. There's only so many times you can say, hey guys, can we reset the server before we're patience, but.
So everyone complains that this map is too bright. I don't see it. Like, are my eyes just that ruined already?
I have terrible light sensitivity, and I think it's all right.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Nope, we're in agreement. And, you know, imagine being in, you know, Supersonic Legend or thereabouts. They're probably mostly Grand Champs here. There might be an SSL or two in this matchup. I'm not too sure what everyone's rank is. And just being told by, you know, the gold players, yeah, no, it's fine. You'll be right.
Gold players, yes, I'm good enough to be gold. No, I think this game, like, my take on Rocket League, and this is probably a very toxic take, but it's basically the Dark Souls take, where it's like, look, this game's so scuffed. The complaining about one thing being like the visuals for this game are so scuffed. Like, this ball is so hard to track visually that like. The difference in a small map, like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of get what they're coming from. You want everything to be perfect and like mirror your training conditions. And if you don't like this map and you don't train on it, well, then you might not be used to the little things. However, both teams are playing on the same map. It's still an equal playing field, and I don't think you can blame the map on that, QUT, as both the attackers bump into each other trying to set up the play.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But also, like, if your training conditions are perfect and manicured, that's something wrong with your training conditions.
True.
Whatever. Yeah,
Bushy
look, the
brows
eggs are happy. Look at how cozy the eggs look. They're not complaining.
I only train on neon fields with the worst camera settings possible.
Yeah, exactly. All right. The play's been pretty neutral so far. A few hilarities here and
That's
there. Massive attempt, but it just falls a little bit short.
I am starting to think that New South Wales is cursed because they've had so many shots like that should have gone in, where everything was set up and they just wind up posting it, and then the goal is open for Styled. QUT get the 1-point lead.
Oh, God. Yeah, if it keeps happening, though, like, it has to be a curse. It has to be something like that. And, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but what you gotta do? I'll maybe turn it around. That's probably what you're going to do, or at least try. And I mean, if they keep, surely if UNSW right here, keep their attacking pressure on, keep that offensive advantage they've been able to build up, then they just get a goal, right? Like, that's the rules of Rocket League. If you keep the attack going, eventually you just get it. Diggs goes for it, but the defender is there. No overcommitment in that play, at least. Oak does a pretty good job of actually keeping that one alive for a little bit longer. This is what I was saying about UNSW being able to kind of pull through the attacks. Almost goes to the top right corner, doesn't quite make it, but the attack, once again, still on for UNSW.
Yeah, as we do see more pressure being established. Medicine Man going to try to play off that wall. Ball winds up going backwards. Swing and a miss from our next defender. Medicine Man's going to try to fall back and does eventually get to that corner. Now it's going to be looking for someone underneath. Actually tries to musty the pass over to Oak, but again, they don't connect.
Someone thought they were playing sideswipe there. Tried to get the back shot and went, whoop, no, never mind. Not happening. That's not how this game works, huh?
As we do see Oak Glutch get it booming clear. No one able to get underneath it. And with 2 minutes remaining on the clock, QUT, it's strange for me because, again, all of my instincts are telling New South Wales that the faster team, they're the more aggressive team, they've been the more mechanical team, they should be winning. But this QUT defense, it's been solid. It's constantly made the saves and the touches just enough so that New South Wales speed sometimes hasn't been there and it's been more used on recovery situations. It's been really impressive. So credit to this QUT defense. They're doing just enough to stay alive.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I guess that's the important factor, you know, staying alive is what you want. And it's not like they've been awful in attack, it's just that they've been opportunistic, and there is a big mistake by the defense. I didn't see where that third player was, but Medicine Man finds an opening and is finally able to put that one away.
Yes, we do see the goal shot again here from Medicine Man. That's from the corner and in the net. Tie ball game, 1 apiece.
So, okay, I was wondering where the third player is, but to be fair, that was a pretty awful double commit there. Like, yeah, you don't want to give the player a free touch on the shot, but 2 defending players off in that, like, that right wing kind of position, that's not very good either. So, I don't know, just a complete kind of mishap on the fence. Rare from QUT, but, you know, hey, UNSW will take it. And now, this game, which looked like it was slipping away from them, has been pulled back to 1-1.
As we do see what Diggs can do from the corner right there, can only create so much space for it. As we see a pass across the box, Styled. Just lobs it up. 2 defenders do commit from underneath. Maka is there off the backboard. No, we don't see the strike. This is looking like we could be seeing an overtime right now unless this attack does work its way through. Styled pass, but no one there to collect.
Nice. The pass was good as well because the defenders weren't quite in the perfect position for it. But I think that the overtime, it's interesting because we talk about, like, you mentioned a lot how UNSW, UNSW,
Yeah.
I don't know why I doubted myself there. UNSW have looked so much better, so much stronger on the attack right at the moment, but I think the consistency on the defense would favor QUT, and I think this overtime would be pretty handy for them. 3 players commit for that defense, and Diggs, if you can put it in the right spot, you have a pretty good opportunity, but they just can't quite find the speed on that one. The pass off the backboard was almost set up, but it's going to be 7 seconds, and I think right at the moment UNSW just want to keep it safe.
Let's see what Mac Attack can do. Losing out on that challenge. Ball falls in front of the net. Will be collected. And we are going to an overtime fetch. 1 apiece. New South Wales, if they're going to fight back in this one, I feel like they need to win this game. Because going reverse sweep against this defense would be tough in the kickoff. Almost put him in that dire situation. Instead, it goes the other way. But they don't find the response.
It was so close there. All the defenders scrambling a little bit here, but they have enough time to find their feet, re-find their composure. As UNSW not quite able to gain their control in that middle part of the field, and they're bumping into each other a little bit on defense. This could be where it hurts them,
Ooh.
but McAkpa can't quite put that one across the line.
Style, though, still keeping very tight. And this is the furthest forward we've seen QUT play in quite a long while. As we see that pinch come off that corner, and Oak only gets so much space with it. It's going to be the next touch that digs with the bump across the middle of the field. This is looking good for New South Wales. The slow play almost made it happen. Mac attack. Should be Mac defense with that save.
It was very good indeed, and they are starting to see the more physical plays here. The defenders and attackers not too afraid of running into each other. There's just a full-on demo onto Medicine Man, who in that first game was such a key, pivotal part of trying to set up these attacks right at the moment. Has enough time to respawn, runs the entire length of the goal, but McMacker is going to be able to clip this clearance off. It's 2v1, but it goes a little bit high. Where's that third player? Where are they? Mac attack
high.
Just puts it high again, and that was such a good opportunity, you got to think, for QUT.
Instead, we go the other way, where Medicine Man will be looking to shut down middle of the field. Gets demoed, so there should be a gap, and there's one that Styled is trying to find the pass through. However, no momentum on that recovery. Macatap has to get the dunk to create any sort of space. Yet you can see the hesitation and push forward from the QUT side. That is until the cross-up does happen. Oak's going to try to collect, but here comes McMacca. Gets the first touch, gets the second. Another setup in front of the net. Macattack wasn't there to put it through.
Yeah, and as we go, these players are starting to get more aggressive. They're trying to really close out these plays, more rooms for execution. Oh no, but more room for mistakes. It just goes a little bit wide. That goal was about as open as they get, but no capitalization style. That might not have been the touch you like, and the contest goes the way of Oak Gulch, but it not quite capitalized on. They're trying to get physical. They're trying to look for a bump play of some sort, and now all the UNSW players were actually ahead of the play a little bit there. No one to really pull it forward, but no punish from the side of QUT.
This is starting to look like that playoff match we were expecting, and you know, this is a taste of what's to come when we do get into our, you know, elimination phase of this event. Medicine Man gets that reset, creates some space, collects it on the other end as well, gets both defenders to bite. Style does enough to make the first save. Oh, can't wrap around it for the shot.
The problem is the pass was too lateral. You weren't able to get it actually past the defenders. The footwork was fancy. You found one, but just couldn't quite get the others. Medicine Man is stepping up so well, but that pass gets in-step Style. Couldn't quite put the shot on target. Oak Gulch tries to clear it out. That might have had a bit too much power in it, but they are able to hold up the attack long enough to get a little bit more defensive structure in.
Ball kind of gets jammed in the corner temporarily. Mac attack will try to keep it in QUT's favor, but can only do so much with it. 3 minutes into this overtime, still only had a couple attacking shots realistically. This could be a long one, so I hope everyone is settled in. Medicine Man tries to end! Mac attack with the save, and McMacca with the follow-up. How do you score against this QUT team?
I don't know, Medicine Man. You have to make sure you have a very safe touch here. Anything going wrong could be a massive problem. Diggs might be able to get a bit of a breakaway, and that might help out. Doesn't quite flick it over the top of Mac Attack, who is going to be able to pick this one up instead. An offensive play in action as well. And I just do not know how you score against this QUT team, Formal. That was an awkward pass. It ends in a demo. Diggs is out, and right now UNSW is going to have to play it up the other side of the field and hope that respawn comes in. But it actually might be a pass across the face. Medicine Man gets beaten out, but enough work done by Diggs before they end up in the respawn timer. Once again, double demo, but Medicine Man is there to save it.
4 minutes into this overtime. Reminder, QUT did win game number 1. Losing this overtime right here, if you're New South Wales, that one's going to sting. This touch could be it, though. It's going to go in, and New South Wales tie up the series.
Oh my god, that was the most exciting overtime I've seen in ages, years, literally years. That was so
and that's
cool.
how it ends.
Yeah, look, whatever, I'll take it. I don't care. It could have been, you know, we could have had a triple flip reset, double touch musty, but whatever. Like, it was a game about pressure. It was a game about pulling your opponents around and forcing them to try and make mistakes, and it ended with a mistake. I'm not too unhappy with that one. Obviously, you know, QUT going to be kicking themselves. They give up their opportunity at match point. But, you know, I threatened Wasteland, by the way. I don't know if that I think that happened off stream, but I threatened Wasteland if the players complained anymore. And here we are.
Yeah, there's been a lot of complaining behind the scenes, I guess. You know, we haven't heard it. We don't know about it. I'm assuming they're just complaining about things within themselves. I shouldn't say things like that. Let me reword. I have no idea if there's been complaining or not. But we are about to go into this next game, straight into that action. Game number 3. Win this, you go to match point. Win this, you're one step closer to making it to the playoff stages. So definitely a lot on the line. Here we go, kicking off our 3rd game in the series.
Yeah, and you know, it's sort of, this is the pivot. This is not the most important game. This isn't the win or lose match right yet. We're not at that match point situation, but it does really define how the rest of the series evolves. Whether you are able to build that 2-0 lead, where you're able to threaten that match point yourself, and it also, you know, it just builds that emotional momentum right at the moment. Really, really nice attacking attempt coming in from both sides, but it's going to be UNSW getting the better of it. But again, that QUT defense holding strong.
Yeah, as we do see Macmaca now clearing things up. That defense again. So I was asking, how do you get past this defense? It has to be the counterattack game, because that's where we've seen all the goals actually be scored against them. It's been placed up from the middle of the field or that backboard when QUT has felt confident enough to press forward. So you really have to catch them off guard, because when it comes to that goal line defense, right now they have been building that wall. Granted, I still think New South Wales is going to find the chances. That dribble almost goes the distance, and the follow-up will. Oak Clutch gets a big lead for New South Wales.
I think you are 100% right. It comes in the counterattack, but I think more specifically, it comes to the counterattack in that midfield pressure. The fact that they're able just to pull these players into the midfield, win a good 50 or something like that off the back of especially Medicine Man. I know I've been talking about them a lot, but I really do think they've been one of the MVPs in this series so far. If they're able to get a big play and get backed up by the team, because, you know, UNSW, they've had the backing up. They've had the numbers. They'll just pull players in. They're not afraid to make those commitments, which has been really good. Diggs put the ball up. It's going to be Macmaca who gets there first. But no, Reform, I think you're completely right. There might be a counterattack going against them right at the moment as QT got a bit of a breakaway. They're going to have to reestablish control of this ball if they want to make this attack really work.
Yeah, as we do see, 3:39 remaining. Oak Clutch gets dunked on by Mac Attack. Ball off that backboard will be red initially. Let's see what Styled can do. Pass down to Macmaca, and again a save on that goal line. We're seeing QUT take a few more risks, but this is that counterattack I was afraid of. Fortunately for QUT, it's a slow one. As it looked like, you know, the strategy there was to slow it down and go for the reset play. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think speed is where New South Wales has the advantage. So next time Medicine Man gets that chance, I'd like to see the shot come quicker.
Ooh, a couple of defenders missed here, though. Mac Attack tries to go for it, and it's going to be Oak Gulch, who is able to get the touch on the play, but didn't quite have the speed on that one. Diggs just trying to shepherd style off the play. It doesn't quite work out, as Medicine Man's going to try and win. They're going to be able to win that contest. And Macmaca, he's going to keep the ball alive. This is, again, another good attempt on the attack from QUT, but they just don't feel like, it doesn't seem like they're quite comfortable enough to commit these big plays until they really have an established advantage in the attacking half.
As we see Mac Attack spike it down. Eventually we'll see it across the middle. Styled will be trying to play the corner. Oak Glutch from underneath can only go so far with it. Macmaca pops one up, but Oak Glutch will be the one who actually follows it through. And this could be threatening actually from the New South Wales side. Diggs. Again, they're keeping the ball so high. They're looking for the waterfall setup. They're looking to try to get the ball behind the defense, and it's just not working out, not on this attack.
Yeah, it's just not quite. I mean, at the moment, you know, at least UNSW are feeling pretty comfortable about this one. I thought that might have been it. I thought that Medicine Man made that defensive attack, defensive touch. Mac Attack doing a good job to keep the ball out of the defender's hands. But again, I don't like the fact their opponents right now, that QUT, aren't committing too hard for this play. They're kind of sitting back a bit passively. They're not really making these big movements. And I mean, yeah, they've committed a few players this time, but they're so worried about those counterattacks you were talking about before. They just don't have the guts to go for it. And Diggs had a bit of an opportunity there, but collides with a teammate, cleaned up by Oak Gulch, and it is going to be an 0-2. So in spite of their defensive play, it still feels like they're not quite managing to hold on.
Yeah, Medicine Man backward pass to Oak, and that's going to result in the goal. So it's going to be a 2-0 lead in favor of our team in orange. And I don't know if QUT is going to be able to come back from this. QUT, they haven't really had that explosive attacking side. Like, they're definitely that slower, more methodical team that needs the opening goal. And we're kind of seeing what happens when they don't find it. All of a sudden, the floodgates just open up. A beautiful double from Diggs. And that's going to be 3-0. That's going to be game 2, I reckon. Well, win 2 going in the favor of New South Wales. Game 3 going their way. They're going to be on match point.
Yeah, they are. And if they're able to keep this sort of play going, like you said, you know, QUT need that kind of balance and that control of the tempo of the game. So this could be a big problem if they aren't able to find an opening goal, the opening aggression early on, because it does also feel like UNSW aren't making as many mistakes as they were before. They've tightened up their play quite a bit. Oak Gulch has the ability to play this one a few different directions, didn't have anyone to pass to, so just sort of lets the ball drop in front of them. It might have been a mistake. Really good defense there from Medicine Man, as the attack is still in favor of QUT, but they have to find something to do with it.
As we do see a minute 8 remaining. Styled will try to set something up off that backboard. Doesn't get that next shot. Minute 3 remaining now. Mac Attack Actually doesn't get the shot. Kind of got intercepted by Styled right there, which is a little bit awkward. McMacca now looking to pass it down to someone, anyone, but it's going to be Diggs who collects it through underneath. Mac attack now looking for that strike. Winds up cornering it. Styled back. Mac looking for the shot, and again it's saved by Oak. Defense holding strong right now. It's all well and good, but with this extra goal, it would have been enough to really put it away. Instead, it's a nice save from QUT, but I don't think it amounts to much.
Yeah, I don't think it does either. Diggs is going to try and keep this one further forward, gets a reset. It's kind of nice, but at the end of the day, that would just be for more goal. 25 seconds left on the clock, and McMacca tries to keep the hope alive of QT taking this game, but I really don't think there's too much of a chance. At least maybe try and find these passes, trying to get those connections working, trying to get the team synergy online. That's about the best you can hope for right now.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty spectacular. Mac attack shot winds up coming out. The post follow-up shot is going to be in from, that will come from Styled. So one goal does go in favor of the QT side. It's not going to be a shutout in game number 3, but unfortunately, I kind of feel like QUT would have rather that goal came 5 seconds later.
Yeah, true. I think it also was kind of a scrappy goal. Like it wasn't very calm and composed, and maybe that's something which QUT looked for a little bit. But hey, it's one goal, right? Like yeah, maybe UNSW didn't want to give that one up any further, but it's how it is. QUT though, if they can kind of take that early lead, they can pull it back. But the problem is, I think the big problem to me, which QUT are facing, are the fact that they're going to have to try and win 2 back-to-back. Like, I can easily see them, after UNSW has been able to build up their momentum, maybe taking one more, maybe taking this next game. If they kind of break the momentum a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be able to win 2 in a row. I think it's a massive ask for them. Totally possible. Well within the realm of possibility, but,
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to... what they're going to be able to do right now. It's time for game number 4, a must-win situation from QUT. The rain starting to fall, and I wish I could say it was the same where I live right now, but it's still incredibly warm, incredibly hot. So I think this is going to be an advantage to New South Wales in that regards, because here in Queensland, if the weather doesn't match the field, how can you really concentrate? How can you really play? How can you continue that form-perfect defense moving forward? Medicine Man tries to play ceiling, but Mac attack is there.
I mean, yeah, New South Wales had nothing but rain this for the last month or two. I think the last like 3 months has been like a torrential downpour, just almost consistently. So there's that home field advantage you were talking about. Weather conditions very familiar, I think, to a lot of these UNSW players. But jokes aside, it is going to be so important, the opening tempo of this game. Right now, QUT don't look too bad. They are able to get a bit of a start. They get a demo as well. Style, can you put this ball in the right position? That's a pretty good spot, but they couldn't quite finish it up.
Yeah, not quite going to get it right there as Oak Lush is going to try to lead the charge back up the other way. Ball kind of gets centered from Medicine Man. Oh, that's actually going to be a goal! Where was the defense? Medicine Man 1-0 for New South Wales.
Was that like an off-screen demo? Yeah, it was. It was that off-screen demo, which just caught them off guard.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker. You know what? We take those.
Wait, I think it was a defensive demo.
Oh, well, then, you know what? No excuse.
I don't know, dude. No excuse. Let's go with no excuse. There should have been a player backing them up anyway.
Yeah, there really should have been. Like, that was just a bit ridiculous. Oh, the reset! Knock right there for the scoop shot. It was close. New South Wales has been looking better and better each and every game at this stage, I dare say.
Yeah, that's terrifying, honestly. Like, the fact they looked like they were making mistakes. They looked decent at the start. Yeah, it was a bit of a whiff there. McMacca not quite finding that connection as Medicine Man's going to try and put another one in. Goes off that sideboard. Actually gets touched by the defender to slow down the momentum just a little bit. QT still got some of those defensive tricks up their sleeve. And McMacca just pulling it straight from the other side of the field. And that little reticle is appropriate because that was a bit of a snipe.
Yeah, as we do see McMacca just going to go for that dribble straight down that second touch, pushing it in. And now we're looking at a tie ball game. 1-1, 3:30 remaining. Looking pretty better for QUT. I mean, I'm happy they were able to equalize it. That does seem to be one step up before, but both of the goals this game have been kind of bizarre ones where the defense has almost kind of let it slip through. Each team, I think they're trying to be more aggressive. They're each definitely trying to control that tempo that a little bit more and increase the pace. So we could be seeing more defensive mistakes like that if this trend continues. This might turn into our highest scoring game yet.
Yeah, I'd believe that. I don't think there's a huge, like, it's not like we've had massive one-sided, like, stomp. I mean, we've had one-sided stompers, but not like, the 10-0 type game. So it's not like it's been super high scoring, but you could see a bit more of a back-and-forth style. Tries to get under the defender, doesn't quite work, as Diggs is able to do enough work to get that one out to Oak Gulch, who was able to pass it. But yeah, I mean, I like the fact that QUT look like a stronger attacking team. What that means for whether or not they're able to make the rotations back, I'm not sure about, but I think it does herald well for your prediction of a high-scoring game.
Yeah, it just, well, that was the initial pace I was seeing, but since then, since that second goal, both teams actually have started to kind of ease back. I don't know, I either think we're going to get a flurry of like 5 goals or we're going to get an overtime at 1-1. Like, those are the only two options. There's no middle ground.
Just because the game slowed down for a bit, though, doesn't mean the teams aren't going to just, like, throw out those goals. That's kind of what I was thinking, like.
Oh, here we go. Diggs.
Yeah.
Oh, good save from underneath. I believe that was McMacca.
Yeah, I believe that. But QUT also trying to fire off these counterattacks pretty quickly as well. They're not trying to set up the ball, set up passing plays, things like that. Double commit shouldn't mean too much as Diggs is able to push this one out in the corner. But yeah, QUT more willing to go for counterattacking plays and things like that. Bit of a miscoordination on that one. The ball just goes into the defensive corner. So that's going to be a pretty comfortable clear out for UNSW. We'll see if they can actually open up the lead a little bit here.
Yeah, as Oaklutch tries to make the play underneath. Now Mac attack takes a swing, takes the miss. Diggs will clear it out of the box, and Medicine Man going to go into the corner off the roof, trying to press it forward. Can only get it to Styled as Mac attack actually gets demoed. Diggs pop up, read by Styled as well. And yeah, minute 23 remaining, and it's looking more and more like that 1-1 overtime unless that mistake costs QUT, and it absolutely does. Oak Clutch takes a late lead.
Remember when we were talking about QUT with the consistency diff? They were just unable to be stopped on the defense, things like that. Well, Oak Gulch manages to prove that wrong, at least in that situation. And to be fair, we have been playing Rocket League for a fair while now. These two teams have been trying to play at their absolute best for a little bit. So those mistakes will happen. I'm not even just necessarily talking fatigue. That just, the longer you play, the more likely you are to make a mistake. And eventually, once the game has been going long enough, every single player in the world, even the absolute best, will make some kind of mistake. So you kind of can't, you don't want to put too much on QUT for that one, but it might have been one of the most important goals in this entire series and possibly their entire season.
Yeah, as we do wait, 50 seconds remaining, 2-1 scoreline. Diggs looking for that shot. That's going to be it. And I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin as well. An absolute strike from the middle of the field. Just pushed the New South Wales side in prime position to get into the playoffs.
And you can't say that UNSW didn't do the work for it. That's the thing. We talk so much about QUT. It's like, oh, they've got these tools to come back. They've had some great consistency. The defense has been so good. But yeah, UNSW's ability to have the mechanics, the passes, the plays, all of this attacking pressure has been so fantastic, and they just get another one. You're right, the floodgates are open. Only 3 goals in quick succession, but when it's this late into the game, it is going to be almost insurmountable.
As we watch Medicine Man get the flick, the ball will wind up in the net. 4-1 lead. Advantage in favor of the team, well, known as New South Wales. And I really think that last goal by Diggs was the one that secured it. And even if QUT gets 1, even if they get 2, time just not in their favor right now. So this New South Wales side, they somehow beat this QUT defense. And I'm a little bit sad-fetched that we're not going to see this QUT defense in the playoffs, because it was pretty spectacular when they were willing to hunker down. Unfortunately, they can never convert that defensive pressure to offensive pressure. Kind of the opposite of what we see from a lot of teams, and definitely the opposite of where the meta sits at the moment on the international side. So congrats to New South Wales. They get it done in 4. They will be going to the playoffs, and for QUT, unfortunately for them, both of their teams played their last games here on stream today.
Yeah, and that is a little unfortunate for them. You're completely right about seeing the defense. It would be nice to see that defense go up against some pretty big names. But I am happy for UNSW. They did play fantastically as well. They put up some very, very nice plays, and we're excited to see them in finals, of course, making that second seed all the way down in Group H. And boy, these finals are going to be very, very exciting. Like you said, there's none of those teams who look like they are just head and shoulders above everybody else. There are some teams that look very, very good. Possibly pick a favorite or two, but I think that there is going to be some very, very intense competition to try and get to that grand final mark and take out season 1 or first half of the season for the AEL.
I mean, we could see some of those teams as well, like Monash Ball Chasers. They're going to be back 7-0. The Macus run as well from New South Wales. Their other teams 6-1. Yeah, they're going to be lingering. Group B still kind of fighting it out, where Love Letters, they got their when they're looking good. Swang Gang, come on, they're going to be in. We kind of know those are going to be the two teams there. Group C, we never saw too much of, but UOW, good luck, have fun. Yeah, they're still undefeated, so that's probably going to be a big name to keep our eyes on, as is RMIT Black, as is UWay's Rocket League T1. We saw them once. They looked pretty good. I'm excited to see how far they can go. Sigma Sydney from UCID, fair enough, and Griffith Red, each undefeated currently. Griffith has a strong history, but so does UCID. That's going to be a fun finale to Group F. Group G still has the Car Ballers from UNSW. I believe they won a couple semesters back, so, keep your eyes on them, as well as Macquarie Esports as well. They look like they've kind of gone through. So, quick run through the standings, kind of letting you know where everyone's sitting. It's going to be an exciting playoffs.
Yes, it certainly should be. Of course, I'm really excited to possibly see ANU in the finals. I'm a bit of an ACT person myself. I mean, I'm sad it's not one of the UC teams or something like that. But hey, ANU, I have respect them, so I think that could be exciting. So many teams, though. So many good teams. I think it could be absolutely phenomenal. You just have to stay tuned to all of our social medias and things like that to get updates on when these streams begin.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So on that note, that's going to do us here for today. Playoffs are right around the corner. A big shout out to our sponsors for this event, Predator, AOC, and Rig, without which we can't have a wonderful event. Again, that's Predator, our gaming PC partner, AOC, our monitor partner, and Rig, our audio headset partner. Big thank yous to all of them. Big thank you to AEL. And until next time, it's going to be playoff time when we come back, so have fun out there, everybody.